Hey, I'm Adam from Niagara Mods, and today we're going to be looking at the new project system inside of Reflow 2. We think this system is going to really change the way you can manage and organize your content inside of Reflow. To get started, I've got a station running locally, and I've already installed Reflow 2 and added the module to my services container. Now in Reflow 1, if I were to click on this service, I would get sort of the default Reflow setup with a couple cards added for me already. You'll notice in Reflow 2, I instead get this message here that tells me that Reflow's been installed, but I have no projects available, none that have been published for me to see. And that I can create and publish projects by going to the config view. So that's exactly what we'll do. When I click on the config view, the first screen I'll get to is this project screen. And from here, I can create my first project. You can think of these, if you're familiar with config.json and Reflow 1, each one of these projects is essentially its own configuration file. And that lets us do some really cool things. So I'll just call this one Reflow University. I'll type in a brief description, and I will set an image. Now remember, I can drag and drop everywhere in Reflow 2. So I'll open up this content folder I have on my desktop, and we'll drag this image here in as our project image. Hit create, and here we are. So now that we've created our project, if we go back to the Reflow view, we'll notice it's still not available. And that's because in Reflow 2, we have a new mechanism to make content available, and it's a draft publish mode. So when I've created my project, it creates a draft by default. And when I click in and I make changes to the project, I'm working in my draft. So this change is part of a draft. I have to go in and specifically publish this project before it would be available in the Reflow view to end users. And I can publish the project by going up here to the play button, clicking, and going to publish draft. We'll do that first. You'll see the publishing window pop up, and we'll let you know when the draft has been published. If we go back out to our application, we can see now our draft has the published badge instead of the draft badge, and our project is ready to be viewed in the Reflow view. Going back, here we are. Okay, so we published our first project. Now when I go in and I make changes, I'm now working on a new draft, and so I can make changes to this. I'll just do that. And the changes get saved. I don't have to do any type of save, just like in Reflow 1. But what you'll notice is when I go back out and I switch to the Reflow view, those changes won't have gotten to my end users. And that's because in Reflow 2, you specifically will publish your changes. They're still there. They're just part of a new draft. And it's really cool now that you can actually control when your content goes out to users. You can also preview your content in a way that users would see it just by using the play button up here or going and hitting preview draft. It'll generate a preview and pop that open in full screen so you can see exactly how your content would look in this draft. So using preview is really great if you want to sort of have that full end user experience before you hit that publish button. And of course, if I go here, I hit publish. Now when we dive over into the Reflow view, we'll see our new text in our block. Projects also allow you to have reusable content and really to sort of separate your content in some interesting ways. I could think of areas where maybe you have multiple clients or customers on the same system and you want to separate their Reflow content. You can now do that with projects. You could also do that for, let's say you've got multiple tenants, or you've got one project that you want for energy managers and another for operators. The possibilities are really endless, and you'll be able to link between projects. So multiple projects can make up an experience for someone. To help you with that, we've added some other features. So you can duplicate your projects very easily just by clicking the duplicate button. And then I could rename this to something else if I wanted here in the details pane. Just call it that. I can also export my project. So if I click here and I go to export, Reflow creates a single file that's downloadable, and you'll see that download here in my web browser. And now if I go into my downloads, on my computer, you can see that I've got that reflowuniversity.rf proj file. And that's going to have everything that I need for my project, including things like images, which will get bundled up and packaged together. Let's remove this duplicate project here. And if we want to import our project that we just downloaded, I can click import. It's going to pull up my computer to browse. I'll choose this Reflow University project, and the project will get imported that way. So we think projects are going to be very powerful for our users. One last thing I want to point out is users and roles and how that relates to projects. Let's give this a more recognizable name here. We'll just say energy managers. And now I can go into my users and roles, and because this project here was published, it's set as the default, I'm going to go in quickly and publish this project. I can also, if I want to publish, I can click on the project itself and go to Publish Draft. And I'll jump back out, and you can see now this has been published. And if I want to make it the default, I can set it here as the default or unpublish it at any time. So when I go into users and roles, you'll see that each user that's in Niagara gets assigned the default project, and that's what those dotted lines mean in this little pin. So the default project is set to every user's starting project automatically. I can go into any specific user, let's say the manager here, and I can click on projects, and I can turn off their default project access by clicking and assigning a specific project or projects, and now they will only have access to this project versus this one. And then the little star here indicates that it's the starting project. So when users have multiple projects assigned that may link to each other, you can specify which one will appear first when they log in. And now you can see here that my manager has a separate starting project than everyone else. I can do the same thing for roles. If I want to say the admin role defaults to starting with the energy manager project, but still has access to the original, I can do that. And now that applies for every user. We think this is a really intuitive system, and one you're probably already familiar with, and many other pieces of software that you use. We expect that users will find out all sorts of creative ways to organize and link between their projects, and we're excited to see what you build with it.